Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Starting 11. Good God, I almost said
One
the
of them.
rally.
One of them.
One of them. It's one of the shows that I'm on. It's Starting 11, the soccer recap show here where we talk about the English Premier League and things that go on around it. I'm here with my buddy Snark. I'm Adelia. There might be some screaming children in the background. My sister's here with her kids,
Told you
and
guys. I
that's
told you
an
guys.
adventure when they're 1 and 4.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blame it on your sister while you have children kidnapped in your basement. It's fine.
I do not have children kidnapped in my basement. I
Well,
don't.
we'll see what the authorities say. We'll see what the authorities have to say about that. Uh, Wonderful weekend in the English Premier League, if you ask me. A couple of results or whatever annoying, and
Mm-hmm.
a couple of things happened. A couple of words said, which are actually kind of comical when you consider who the source is. Well, who the source works for, anyways. But we should get on 10 matches. Just a regular slate this week.
Yep.
We'll start at the very bottom. The very bottom being AFC Bournemouth and Liverpool, and the Liverpuglians are right back at it. It doesn't matter if you score
Yep.
7 against Manchester United. If you can't get one across against AFC Bournemouth. And the Liverpool continues to be the enigma of the entire league. Just don't get it. I don't get them.
Liverpool are. I would say Liverpool have been the most inconsistent team all season.
Oh yeah, like Chelsea wasn't inconsistent. They were bad, and they lost a lot of games in a row. There was no mystery here. Here's the mystery: like Liverpool, like against Man City, look like world beaters. Against Arsenal, they play well. Like all these teams, they play well. They hammer United 7-0. Earlier this season, they beat these guys 9-0. 9
Yeah,
nothing.
nine nothing.
Should have saved a couple. Guys, you should have saved a couple. And once again, their defense is susceptible to those stretch pass. So they have no mobility. They have no mobility on that back line. They can only go forward, I guess. They cannot find a guy. They can't mark their guys going forward. It's like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to turn. It's lost. As soon as they have to turn, they're
Yeah.
lost. That happened a couple of times, and it took one time to actually get through. But uh, Jurgen Klopp, if you take a look at a picture of him from July, and you take a look at him now, and he's aged 15 years. He
Yeah.
is not looking
Yes.
good, and he's angry, and something to get a little more angry about. Okay, first off, what did you think of the penalty call? The one to actually set Salah up on the dot.
I don't know about that.
It sure looks like shoulder. Like I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like he isn't going like this.
Yeah.
It goes up. He's going up, but it hits his shoulder. Again,
It's
more.
it's crazy because I was watching a La Liga highlight show and they were talking about how there was a handball shout in La Liga, but it hit where the sleeve was, so that's not a handball.
Right.
And then now this is definitely about the same place.
Yeah, it's definitely the same place. We're going to talk obviously more. There's so many. It, Not a great week for officiating in the Premier League.
No.
Who probably has the worst officiating in all of world football. It's atrocious.
I'm
It's all
starting
over
to
the
think
place.
so. I'm
It's
I'm
all over the
starting to
place.
think the refereeing in MLS is better than the refereeing in the Premier League.
Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really am.
Maybe you might be right. You might be right, or at least it's. You know what? At least it's more consistent. It is more consistent. It
Yeah,
may be
maybe more
bad all the time.
consistent.
It's bad across the board. And there's just it's a sine wave, guys. It's up and down. It's up and down. No
Yeah.
one makes the same calls twice, and there's going to be more to talk about later. But how are you, Mo Salah, today? That was maybe the worst penalty kick I've seen all year.
That's the worst penalty miss in a while.
Yeah.
By anyone. Like he has
Yeah.
the goalkeeper going the wrong way, and even in the commentary, the guy was like, "No problem." Oh wait, there's a problem.
Yep,
He just
it was
completely missed
awful.
the net.
I'm thinking of a couple of tries in the World Cup that were just terrible, terrible tries, and it's like that was worse. That was worse. And he had so much time, and it's Mo Salah. This guy's this guy should score
Yeah.
goals. Like, what's the pressure going to get to him? It's a match, you know, 26 weeks in against Bournemouth. Like, who cares? Like, just take your penalty. It wasn't earned. I don't think it was earned at all. It was a gift. They were gifting you a point because
Yeah.
who knows if they would have scored another one.
Yeah.
But Virgil van Dijk, not a great day. Uh,
Virgil van
Nunez,
Dijk looks like a shell of the player he used to be prior to his knee injury.
I think he was the guy that got beat on that long pass and stuff too because it was coming down the right side. So, yeah, not a
Yeah.
great day for him. Yeah, Liverpool losing to AFC Bournemouth to start the week. A 6:30 start here in Central Time Zone, an odd start, and the very next game, another. Who would have thought? Because the Brentford Bees coming in had won 12 matches in a row, or had been undefeated in 12 matches, taking on lowly Everton, and the Toffees beat them 1-0. Uh,
Yep.
it's
This
Sam
is a
Dyke.
nice goal.
Yeah, it was a real nice goal, and it took zero time to do. 40 seconds or whatever it was, and then just yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like
a
a minute
great game
40 or
after that.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great game after that. Damari Gray's a little unlucky; he didn't get another one as well. But yeah, Sam Dyke, he's got him playing, which is not cool for me because
Yeah.
my team has to play them next, and I'd rather them be coming in there on a loss than a win, and them having any kind of hope. But they've got a tough stretch. I think they got Tottenham and they got United as well as Chelsea in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, it's an uphill climb for them. But they weren't supposed to beat Brentford today or on Saturday, and they did a 1-0
Yeah.
win. Um, yeah, I just think he has players playing real well, and like I said before, Damari Gray unlucky to not score there, but he's another guy that's really stepped up, and
Hmm.
just looks like a different team since they're like Lampard just didn't know what to do with him. I guess Lampard just needed more time. Lampard as a coach has not baked. He's still mostly wet dough in there. I think he
Yeah.
made a real mistake leaving Derby. He should have stayed at Derby. He should have taken Derby for
I
10 years
think
or
so
something
too.
like that. That lure to come home, that lure to come back to the bridge or whatever was high. Roman should never have asked him to come. Not great, but yeah. Congrats to Sam Dyke and getting another win for Everton. Where does that put Everton? Everton is now in 15th, so they're
So
they're
they're
getting
out of the
clear a little bit.
relegation zone at the moment.
Yeah, they're getting
Yeah.
they're getting a little more clear. Uh, all those teams are within so many goddamn points of each other. Anyways, it doesn't matter. They're yeah,
Yeah.
they're a Southampton win and a loss to going into last. So with only 3 points up on the bottom team in Southampton now, but uh, you know, as long as you win, as long as you get results like this, surprise results, you're gonna be okay. And I thought Everton for sure was going down, and they've been a different team since he's come in. Now, another
Yeah.
team that's been different since losing manager, Leeds, taking on Brighton, and I have to say, we've been doing this now. It's our 20 something episode.
29th episode.
Has there been a worse kit that you've seen this year than the Brighton thirds? Is that
It's
shocking to
not
think?
great.
What
It's not great.
what are they wearing? What are they wearing?
I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with the color blue.
It's bright.
It is,
It's
yeah.
very
It
bright.
it looks like they're a knockoff action figure from the 80s or something like that. It's like Mystery Man or something like that. And it's just this is the paint they had left over from some old things or whatever. Throw it together. This is what we got. This is you now, Brighton. How are those flying off the shelves? Brighton. Anyways, you can put a Matoma on the back. I'd probably buy it though, because again, what a game from
I
Matoma.
like him.
He's really good. Set up two great
Yeah.
plays. Well, he set up one great play in their first goal. And that second goal to get the ball across looked great until what's his name? God, what's the kid's name from Leeds or whatever? Knocks it into his own net. After coming off a deflection off one guy and then off the goalie, off Millier, and then off this guy, the guy in the net.
Was that Jack Harrison?
It was Jack Harrison. Yeah, because Harrison, makes up for it. That
Yeah.
okay.
Great goal.
Here's the advantage of the short kick. When everybody thinks you're putting it into the box, you leave one guy at the corner because there was nobody. He had all day, and when you're talking about a curling strike, just he's just such ease and
Yeah.
it looked so graceful going in and stuff like that. It's like you made up for it. You got Leeds a point. They need all the points they can get. I'm Brighton is going to be shaking their heads, I'm sure, over this one. I think they shouldn't have had any problems with Leeds, but Leeds now
Yeah.
second from the bottom, 23 points. Like, such a hard row for them to go, but every point counts. That point keeps them out of the bottom. Brighton reconsider. Like it looks like it looks like they washed their clothes with the Liverpool or somebody like that or United, and it just bled into theirs and stuff. That's what you got.
They look like highlighters.
Yes, from the 90s or like the 80s. It looks like
Yes.
Motley Crue would have worn that as a kid in 1986. Speaking of gross, Spurs won 3-1
They
over
did.
Forest. Not much of a surprise. And not much of a fight
No.
for Forest. I guess late, maybe. Um,
Yeah.
Harry Kane
Could
scores
have
two
been
goals.
3-2 if IU didn't miss the penalty.
Again, another missed penalty. We were talking about this earlier in the year where just some weeks people just miss penalties. And at least
Yeah.
he put that one on net. At
Yes.
least if the goalie didn't get to it, it would have counted. Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, not a great strike. Not much heat to it. Yeah. And Sun scores again. That was a good goal. Yeah. But also, I wanted to mention quick. I think that was Richarlison's best game in a Tottenham shirt. He was
He certainly
everywhere.
came closest to scoring. I think they ruled him. His toe was offside or something on that goal.
Again,
Like,
this is getting nuts.
I'm sick of this. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Eyesight, like enough of this stuff. Who needs it? You guys are so inconsistent with VAR, anyways. Who gives a shit? Make it eyesight. Just say, look again in real time. Look again, real time. That's it. That's all you have to say. We'll give you a good line for it, and it shouldn't be the refing. It should be the second officials and stuff like that. Go over to take a look at it because that's their job is to find these offsides.
Yeah.
So yeah, just try and keep all this other shit out of it. It's just terrible. It's happened a couple of times in the Chelsea game too, but we can talk about that in a bit. Next one to talk about. Palace did put up a fight. They did try pretty hard against City, and again, another questionable penalty call leads to Holland's goal. I didn't like this at all.
You can't do that stuff. I didn't like it either. But you can't do that stuff against City because City is a team that is going to always appeal and complain and beg, if you will,
they'll always get the
for
call.
a penalty.
They'll always get the call. Yeah.
And they always will get the call.
Yeah. They get what United used to get, and United's getting a little salty about that now. But to be fair, like that, when he goes to step, like I had to keep looking at it. It's like at first I didn't think he got him at all, And then the announcer was saying something about his ankle. It's not his ankle. What happened was he goes up slowly. The ball's far away. He's already been played. When the guy steps down, he steps kind of almost on the side of his foot by where his pinky toe should be. Gundogan
Mm-hmm.
jumped up like a cat when the dishes crash on the floor. He was straight up in the air,
Yeah.
down on the ground, rolling around. This is the worst thing that's ever happened to him in his entire life. And now, if you want VAR, why don't you take VAR for that? Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, how is that? I wouldn't even call that a foul, especially when you consider some of the things that weren't called a foul this week, which we will talk about
Yep.
when we get there.
We will talk about that.
And it's the next game we get to talk about. Yes, because that's horseshit. That is a foul worthy of a penalty kick in a game that was so tight. Well, not tight. In a game that was so well contested. How about that? Because Man City did
Yeah.
have the most opportunities. Zaha, Wilfred Zaha. How many times do I have to talk about this guy this year? Where's your head? Where's your head at? Why are you so
It's
angry?
gone. He's
Yeah,
gone. He's
unbelievable.
gone.
Yeah, grabbing guys up and throwing around. Like, come on, come on, come on, come on. What sport do you want to play? Pick a sport. Well, that isn't. Yeah, things might not be going your way. You play for Crystal Palace. You're gonna have to earn shit more. You're not gonna get these ridiculous calls like the other guys got.
Yeah.
You have to go earn your shit and not just be whining about it because you'll never get it. You will never get those calls. You will never get the 50-50 calls as long as you're doing that. You cannot be physical like that. Play physical, fine, but don't take it over the line. You're taking it over the line. You've got to fucking get your temper under control. Chelsea had their temper under control.
Yeah.
They have every reason to get very upset, especially at the referees. And it's something
Yes.
that I've mentioned this before. This is something I'd like to see more out of Graham Potter because we're going to keep getting these shit calls at us because he's not putting up a fight. He has to be more vocal on the touchline. He has to go after a ref, get a yellow card. Who gives a shit? But the good news, we'll get to it in a minute. Chelsea thrashed Leicester. A lot of people talking about
Yes.
how this game was closer than it was. It was not close. This game wasn't close. Chelsea made a couple of mistakes. One went into the back of the net. It was kind of a sloppy play by Joe Felix. Sorry, Joe Felix. He had to remind the pool reporters. It's Joe Felix, not Felix. So, all right, whatever. It's like you win. We'll call you Felix. All right. A little sloppy with the ball, and it gets put away from like outside where the D is or whatever for there. They like a big long strike or whatever, but nicely placed goal, deserved a goal, but Felix puts one off the post. We had three, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to turn back from offside, including that Mudrik one where you just see what this kid is going to be, how fast he is. Unbelievable fast. Enzo Fernandez is becoming a revelation in midfield. I think the second best move of the transfer window. We'll get to who I think is the best move of this entire transfer window later on. Uh, that pass just ends up finding Kai Havertz near the end of the first half. It's like the game slowed down for everybody. A soft lob over everybody's head, right onto Havertz's boot with that soft lob that he puts in, one touching it. It's a goal that Havertz has scored before, but there was no real power to it. You could just see he just placed it. He knew he was going to score. Best game for Kai Havertz, and I don't know how long. Playing on the right, not through the middle. It's like, thank God you're playing him in a correct position. You're playing him softer. You're playing him further back. He does not have to be up front. Connor Gallagher comes in, has a good few minutes. I've like, how much shit have I given Koulibaly this year? And we lose Thiago Silva, and he's been fantastic. He has been terrific. In a back three, he's terrific. It's so good. I don't know where we're going to put him. When Silva comes back, where do
Mm-hmm.
we put him? Because Fofana, terrific. Yeah, yeah, it's at a good point now. we're getting spoiled with people in form. We were not for quite some time, and this is gonna ruin our chances of getting European football next year.
Yes.
I It's only 8 points away to Tottenham, but I think Newcastle is only 3 points behind uh, Tottenham, and I think they have 3 games in hand. So, uh, yeah, so it's gonna to get
Yes,
even
something like that.
fifth place or something like that is gonna be even tough. Like just to get through Europa League is gonna be tough. But again, Mudrik gets an assist, and something I liked quite a bit. I can't remember what YouTube thing I was on. It might have been ESPN FC or somebody like that. Said Mudrik now has as many assists as Anthony from United. Anthony only has played 800 more minutes than Mikhail Mudrik. So I was like, yes. Okay, let's talk about the two things that got me pretty mad. The first was Ricardo Pereira missing a challenge on João Felix.
Hmm.
On João Felix. Felix. All right. Uh, Spikes up in the leg, right in the side of the shin. Spikes up. This is the exact play, except João was sliding, but still spikes up in the leg over the ankle, and not a yellow card, not even a foul. That was not even considered a foul.
That was
VAR
absurd.
VAR could have easily stepped in and say, "Take a look at this."
Yes.
They are allowed to look at that if it's a red card offense, which this 100 fucking percent was. This was
Yes, it
100% a
was.
red card. It is proven the next day.
100%.
The next day, it's proven it's a goddamn red card offense. Okay, so there's that.
Yes.
Chelsea, to be fair, I think Cucurella may have done the exact, well, sort of the same thing to another player, to a player for Leicester. Again, another spikes up kind of play. That wasn't called. Now, the weirder one is Amerte kicks the ball and leaves his foot up while Havertz is coming. Leaves his foot up so that he can put his foot into Havertz's chest. Havertz
Yeah.
gets up and his chest is torn open from the spikes. Not a yellow card. Not a foul. Again,
Yeah, that
a
was
red
ridiculous
card
too.
offense. What is fucking happening here? Ten Hag has it
I don't
right.
know.
Ten Hag has it right. I think he was, he was wrong for the wrong reasons. He's right. Does that make any sense? I think it does. He's right for the wrong reasons, but we'll talk about him in a minute. I think Graham Potter has been sleeping easier over the last week. That's 2 wins in the Premier League. First time we've done that since October. 3 wins in a row with
Yes.
that Champions League win over Dortmund. Just a team that's looking more comfortable, more within itself. Putting Kai Havertz out on the wing, like going forward or whatever, playing him as an actual 10, not a 9. So much easier on him. He's creating so much more. He looks faster. Mudrik, goddamn, is this kid like? I think it's just a matter of he hasn't played very much. Like he played in
Yeah.
Ukraine, then they shut down for Christmas and stuff like that. He just has to get that game speed up, and if he's at game speed now, he's twice as fast as everybody. He has to slow down because he scores easily. He was just too fast for the ball. He's too fast for the ball. He's got to slow down a little bit, but you can see it now. And it was Didier Drogba's birthday. And when he scores that goal, even though it gets waved off, he does the Didier Drogba slide with the thing or whatever. It's like now I love this fucking Mudrik kid because I love Didier Drogba. And when I saw that, I was like, yes, I know exactly what that is. Congratulations. You're a good man, Michaela Mudrik. So, big match for Chelsea next week against Everton. There's a chance that if we win that game, there's a good chance that Graham Potter's going to be in consideration for manager of the month after all this shit. Oh my
That
god,
would be
so funny.
interesting. That would be
Now
interesting.
that would be interesting. But let's go to Sunday. Let's go to Sunday.
Yes.
Uh, Arsenal, zero goddamn problems really with Fulham. And when I was saying
Yeah.
that Enzo's the second best signing of the January window, it's got to be Trossard's the best. He has
Yeah.
looked amazing, uh, and it's a first half where you guys did all the work. And you didn't have to play hard in the second half. Uh,
Yep.
a tail, a three
I
Gabriels.
appreciated this game. I
Yeah,
appreciated this game because it
the
wasn't
no
we
stress.
weren't the cardiac kids again. There was no
Mm-mm.
stress. Um,
Should have been
the
4.
change totally screwed me over. It should have been 4. I still don't know how Gabby Martinelli was offside on that own
I
goal.
don't think he was. I don't think he
I
was.
mean, I don't
Yeah,
think he was either.
yeah.
The time change screwed me over, so I had to watch most of this on replay because by the time I woke up on Sunday morning, it was already 3-0. And then
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh, okay, we're going to win.
yeah.
And
You could give Fulham that blame too, but I don't think they have daylight savings there
yeah,
for a couple more weeks. So
yeah.
no excuses.
It was a good game. It was a good first half. Trossard with a hat trick of assists. He's the first player in Premier League history to have 3 assists in the first half of an away game or something like that.
Yeah, it's a bizarre record to hold. It's not the it's not the record that any kid growing up was thinking one day I'm gonna have the most assists in an
Yeah,
away
one
game in
day.
Premier League history.
That's
Yeah,
what I want. One day.
keep
He's not the
dreaming, little
first player to
Leo,
have
and you
3
get it.
assists in a game. He's not the first player to have 3 assists and a half in this season. That was one of the Liverpool players in the 9-0 thrashing of Bournemouth earlier this year.
Yeah,
But
we're
he's the
doing
first
well.
one to do it in the first half of an away game.
Yeah,
Arsenal now also won 5 straight London derbies without conceding a goal on the road.
yeah.
So
Bunch of show offs, if you
that's it.
ask me.
Well, I'll take it. I will take it. I love how much this season is getting into the heads of other fans, specifically Spurs fans,
Yeah, the
who are
Spurs
on
fans are
their
going
Reddit,
nuts.
saying things like, "Oh, but none of their players would get into our team." What? Have you looked at your team lately? Like, maybe not every player would get into the Spurs team. I had to say Harry Kane, but come on. So I've been having good fun with all of the banter on Twitter and things. I don't involve myself in it. I just read it and it makes me laugh.
It's the
But
same
yeah, good.
delusion that breaks their hearts every year, and I'm here for it. Like, keep it up, guys. You guys
Yeah.
can't win championships. You guys can't of any kind. You guys
Nope.
suck forever. You guys will always suck forever. You know what is also so much fun is hearing all these rumors about where Harry Kane would go and stuff like that. Like seeing pictures of Harry Kane in a United shirt or whatever.
Oh yeah.
If I'm gonna make you a promise right now. I hate Harry Kane. I fucking hate
Me.
Harry Kane with a deep, deep seated passion. If he goes to Chelsea, he'll get the shirt.
Yes.
100%. Just to fucking troll those assholes. No problem. No problem. I would get a Harry Kane shirt.
Yeah. I
Dude.
don't doubt
Oh
that.
my god. Oh, oh, it'd probably give me a rash, but I'd do it just to take the pictures. Like, oh, look, this is one of the best Chelsea strikers of all time now. Look at all the records he scored for Chelsea. At least have a chance to win something. You'd have a chance to win something. We ain't gonna do it in Tottenham. I can tell you that. Let's talk about the other.
But
Oh, you go. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
I was just
I was
gonna
gonna
say
go
I
on to the
fully
next one,
appreciated
but I want to
this
hear more
not.
about Arsenal.
Yeah.
I want to hear more about Arsenal owning Tottenham.
I just wanted to say that I fully appreciated a nice, comfortable win, and I thought that showed good maturity on the road to get there, get the job done, and then not just keep going for it in the second half. They just sort of played out the rest of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, just stayed
Gabriel
in front of
Jesus
people.
was back.
I was gonna say now that I was saying it's like a tale of three Gabrielles. We got two that score and one that comes back. Um, where does Jesus start anymore? I don't see
I
how.
don't
I,
know.
I don't see how he goes in. Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing about
I,
being injured for so long and this team is gelled. I think he's a wonderful person that you can get from your bench, but I don't see how he'd
yeah.
start. Not without injuries, not without other injuries.
Yeah, I just don't see how you break up that front three at the moment of Saka, Martinelli, and Trossard.
Nope.
I don't see how you bench because you'd have to bench either Trossard or Martinelli. You're not benching Saka to
Nope.
bring Jesus into the starting lineup, and I just don't see how you can do that with either of those guys right now. Gabby Martinelli, I believe, is our leading goal scorer this year, which
Yeah.
a lot of people never saw out of him before this season. But um, I've been super impressed with him ever since he joined Arsenal a couple of years ago, and I'm so glad we have that kid. Saying in midweek he'd play goalkeeper for us if that's what the manager required him to do. I love that kid,
That's
and
what
I
leaders
just don't
do.
want him out of the lineup. Um, if if I don't want us to take Trossard off of the pitch right now either, with the way that he's playing. I mean, this
You
was
can't.
he
Cannot.
supposedly he was supposedly injured with a groin injury that was going to keep him out, and then all of a sudden he was in the starting lineup on Sunday, and I was like, what? But he's obviously not unhealthy. He played phenomenally well, and we have Emil Smith Rowe and Gabby Jesus to come in off the bench now.
Poor
Emil Smith
things.
Rowe
You poor
also
things.
back from injury, and but like there's depth to the squad now that wasn't there before
Oh
because
yeah.
of the signings of guys like Trossard, who have come in and made the manager have to make a decision about things, which that wasn't the case. This was the starting 11, and we might have these guys to come on. And I mean, Reese Nelson is there too, who he's shown that he can come on and do stuff now. So I like the variety of choice that we have, but I don't see how you
Yeah.
start without Trossard and Martinelli and Saka up front right now.
Yeah. Like you start him in your Europa League stuff, I would imagine, just to give him playing time. Um, do you
Yeah,
start him? Yeah, like any kind of a nick or anything like that to somebody now, you put him in. Is he healthy enough to play 90 minutes yet? He may not be. So it may be just he's comfortable coming off the bench. Of course, Gabby Jesus, the guy I picked to win the Golden Boot in the Premier League this year because he was fucking tearing things up
he
in
got hurt.
training, but
There's
and he got
nothing that
well.
can
He also
be
got hurt,
done
and
about that.
there's some kid in Manchester that was doing okay though too, which
Yeah,
I could
he's
have
doing all
picked.
right.
I think I picked third. Fuck me. That was not my great. It turns out I'm
I
not
don't
always
think.
great at
I don't
predicting
think.
things.
Yeah, me either. That's why I don't
Oh, I was gonna say
know
how
that I
did you?
made a prediction. I don't
I think we
remember
did.
if I made a prediction.
I think we said who we thought would do well. I'm pretty sure you may have picked Holland. Uh, I
I might
think
have.
was Ferris on that show? He may have been. He may have been.
Maybe.
Uh, let's go on. You could talk about Arsenal all day. All right, we get it. They're
I
doing
could.
okay.
Yeah.
We get it. 5 points up now,
Mhm.
right? 5 points up. The first
That we are.
championship you guys could win in 19 years. Inching closer. 12 more games. 12 more games to the
Yep.
finish.
Yeah.
Man U and Southampton. Now,
This was an entertaining game.
it was a hell of an entertaining game. It's much better. Like, I think even one of the announcers may have said, maybe the best nil-nil draw you can watch. I think it took a man going out and a red card to make it so
Yes.
interesting. And might as well talk about it now. It comes in the 31st minute. And Casemiro, again, with another sloppy tackle. Now, he does get the ball. I don't think he wins the ball. His foot skips up off top of the ball, spikes first into a shin, and this time our favorite Anthony Taylor. gives him a yellow card. And
Well, at least
VAR,
he started with a yellow card
yeah,
and a
at least
foul.
he did. VAR correctly says, "Look at this again, you bald dummy." So
Yeah.
the bald dummy goes and takes a look at it, and then he does this weird thing. He's like, "No, no, no, we'll rescind the yellow card." Oh, red card. It's like, yeah, you should have been a red card right off the bat. Uh, of course, Eric Ten Hag does not believe that was warranted of a red card at all because he's dumb. Yeah, of course it's a straight red. What did you think when you saw that play even go down before any of the VAR stuff? I knew just looking at it like this is not going to be good, and just like in
Yeah,
Casemiro,
that
yeah,
that looked like a straight red card. I'm not surprised that it got changed to a straight red card.
hmm
United have decided not to appeal, so they're accepting
no shit,
Casemiro's 4-game ban.
yeah,
Um,
7 games he'll have missed. 7 games
yeah,
he'll have
and he
missed this
was
year.
just back from his ban, I believe. He'd played like
Right.
2 games, and now he's banned again. Somebody pointed out on Twitter that Casemiro never got a red card in his entire tenure at Real Madrid, and now he's gotten 2 in a matter of weeks
Yeah.
for really dumb shit. That was a bad tackle. It should have been a red
Sloppy.
card. This is the correct use of VAR, if you ask me. The
Yeah.
hey, go look at this. You're missing this, and then the correct decision was made. So I
hmm
will give them more credit for this
Shockingly,
one than I will for
shockingly
anything
consider who
else.
the ref
This
is.
Yes, shockingly considering who the ref is. Anthony Taylor, not great at these things, but at least I will give him credit for at least going, okay, that was a foul, which is more than what could be said from that tackle in the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
And then to give the red card after looking at it again, I think was very a good decision because that's a fucking red card. I'm sorry.
It's a red card. It's
Studs
a red
up
card.
high, it's a red card. I've seen too
Yeah.
many Arsenal players. We went through that stretch of time there for a while where Stoke was in the league and they were breaking Arsenal players' legs. I've seen too many tackles like that. That's a fucking red card. Red card these assholes. I don't care who it is. I don't even care if an Arsenal player does that. That's a red card. Red card them. It's a
Yep. Get
player's
it out.
safety.
Yep. Yeah. Uh, yeah. It's ridiculous, and yeah, for Ten Hag to be crying about consistency is like you're right. It should be a red card all the time, buddy. It's not. It's not that it's not. Shouldn't be a
Yeah,
red card against Casemiro. It should be a red card all the
yeah,
time. You're
yeah.
complaining for the wrong reasons. And he's going to have a couple. No, there's a couple other things that happen. First off, I want to just say David De Gea was really good. I thought Southampton played well. Should have scored. I think De Gea played well. I think the goalie on the other end, I can't remember Southampton's goalie's name. He also played really well. It was back and forth. There was chances.
Is that
And then there's
Bazunu?
uh, yes, I believe you're right. But I want to talk about Bruno Fernandes gets tripped up in the box, does the roll, the jump up, absolutely clean tackle. There is zero to this. Does he get another call in this league? And he tried to do the same shit last week as well. Didn't get the calls. This one wasn't even close when he was jumping up and down about it. Do you think that Fernandez is done with getting
Yeah.
calls of any type? Because he's I think he's worn out his welcome with all the referees in the league after all. Does anyone complain like of Fernandez? It used to be a Chelsea thing. Like I can be honest
No.
about it. Like my favorite guy ever was Didier Drogba, and the officials
Yeah.
fucking hated him because he
They
complained about everything.
complain about the Man United is specifically Bruno Fernandes is complaining about everything this year, and they're not getting a lot of these calls, and
Yeah.
that's just making them complain more. I think.
Yeah, if it makes them mad, it makes me happy. Rashford tried the
Yeah.
same kind of thing. That play where goalie comes out or whatever, he tries to feign that he ran into him, but he just tripped himself. You could see him trip himself, and they're just not getting the calls. Like they're not going to get these calls. But would you have called handball on that Bella Kotchap play or whatever, when he's down on the ground or whatever, if the ball comes in and it hits him here? Would you have called handball? I think that's another big reason that United were complaining.
Yeah, I think that's the reason United were complaining. To me, it hit him in the shoulder
Yeah.
again. Like, is that a handball or not? Like, that's a
Well, also
question that has been
his
going
hands were on the
all
ground.
season. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought we had clarification that if your hands are on the ground, then that's not handball. Like, I don't know. It's so confusing. They've had so many different inconsistent rulings on what is or is not a handball this season that I have no idea what is and isn't anymore.
Yeah. I'm happy with the non-call. It's like, buddy, just make your pass better. Make your pass better. That's it. It was a poor pass that goes into him. It should never have been anywhere close to him, anyways. But yeah, United whining and crying really did lift my Dave Light Savings Time day. I loved it. I love to see them get a little salty. They still get a point out of it, so it couldn't. It wasn't the worst of results for United. They didn't drop.
No.
They only dropped 2 points instead of 3. Let's go on. 2 more matches to go over. One being West Ham and Villa. Ollie Watkins scored again.
Yeah.
Good for him. Good for him. Can't wait to see him on a better team. It was a nice pass from Marino over to him. And then, and then another case of someone getting the slightest touches and hitting the deck like a wet sack of potatoes. Paqueta gets might have had like a little touch on his back, and he fell for it. One of these days, somebody's going to injure themselves diving, and I'm going to be here for it. But it doesn't matter. And Rama scores and ties the game, and that's the game. There isn't much to talk about with West Ham and Villa. Who gives a shit about either of them? Hate them
No,
both.
not much to
Hate
talk
them.
about at all.
Hate them both.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I'm not a big fan of either.
Yeah. Now, the last match of the week was, I thought, a really good match in Newcastle and Wolverhampton. Alexander Isak scores, and always nice to see a Swede score. I have a soft spot for Swedes. There isn't very many of them in the Premier League anymore. So he scores. Good for him. And then the Hwang Hee-chan's goal was just a clusterfuck in front of net and stuff like that. Trippier living up to his name. Slides, trying to clear it or whatever, and just leaves everybody open. The easiest goal Hwang Hee-chan is going to score his entire life. Just takes out Pope in the deal. So blew it, but the game winner to a guy that I have literally given shit to the last 3 weeks, saying, where the hell is he? And Almiron finally wakes up from his long goddamn slumber. Still the leading goal scorer for Newcastle, but a nice shot to win. 10 minutes to go. Found out it's his first home goal since October. Almiron. Like, as soon as we started talking about it, as soon as we sat his face on our little thumbnail thing, he's gone into shit. Is it the starting 11 curse? It might be. That's why Chelsea will never have another guy on here. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But good for them. Castle needed it. They needed it. Holy shit. Just to stay in there. So, Newcastle United has 44 points now. They're 2 over Liverpool. Still 4 behind the Spurs, but they have 2 games in hand on Spurs. So, you win both those games, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight for that last Champions League spot. Do I see Chelsea at 37 points just to get the 5th? Like, it's going to be so tough. Like, we're looking at really having to get 11 points here. Gain 11, 12 points over Spurs in the next 12 games. It looks like it's going to be way too much to do. So it'll be a tough summer trying to recruit. Well, it might not be because, Bowley just splashes the money around. It's Brewster's Millions, reference to a 1985 movie that a lot of people will forget about. So yeah, but other than that, and you can also sell them on, gosh, you can relax. You only have to play 38 times this year or whatever it's going to be. God damn it. All right. That's it for the week. That's it for the
Yes.
week. We did our little predicting. We did our predictions, and
Hmm.
turns out I won. I won 6-3. I had a pretty good week.
Okay.
Uh, Now, while I was doing this week's, there were still 4 matches to be called. Uh, I haven't checked to see if they've come back up, but so far we only have 9 matches. 9 matches confirmed, but that's leaving Man City out. That's leaving Brighton out. I think that's leaving Liverpool out. There's some teams like Southampton that's playing twice this week. Uh, who else is playing twice? Brighton.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
because
Brentford.
they've got the FA Cup this weekend, don't they? For the teams that are still in the FA Cup.
Right. So yeah, it gets a little bananas, and then after that is the after this is going to be the
International break.
international break. So we got one more week, and then we're gonna have a week off. But we'll do we'll do the 9 confirmed matches. When they decide what's going on with the other ones, we can talk about them. But it won't be part of the little
Yeah.
little thing. So first
Yeah.
one, in what could be a very important match for your buddy Patrick Vieira. Brighton is at
Hmm.
home to Palace. Now,
Brighton.
I think that Brighton should win. Do I think that Palace could take a draw out of it though? Oh, jeez. I'm
I'm
gonna
going
take.
Brighton.
Yeah, you got Brighton. They have to play for their coach. I don't think they can do it. I'll take Brighton as well. Uh, Next match, and this is coming up Wednesday, by the way. These 2 matches coming up on
Hmm.
Wednesday. No time to lose. We got Southampton fighting to get out of relegation, and they have to go up against an angry bunch of bees in Brentford, coming off a
I'll go
shock
Brentford.
loss.
Yeah, I'll
It
go
should have
Brentford.
been it should have been a no-brainer to go with Brentford, and it is a
Yeah,
no-brainer. Yeah, of course I'm going to pick Brentford.
it is.
Uh, yeah, uh, yeah. I don't think they played that ugly 2 weeks in a row, but we'll
Yeah.
see. Uh, they have to play a lot of football this week. Forest at home to Newcastle. What are the 2 things that Forest does? They they score from the counterattack. They win at home, but they have to play Newcastle.
I'm gonna go with Newcastle.
Okay, I'm gonna go with a draw. I think
Okay.
I think they can hold Newcastle, especially at home. Um, and what should be an exciting match? Villa is taking on AFC Bournemouth.
Exciting is a word for it. I will go with Villa at home.
Okay. You don't think Bournemouth can gain momentum now? You don't think they're gonna?
No.
All right. Uh, yeah, you're probably right. Even though it pains me to write a V down, it's kind of gross. But what are you gonna do? The bees are back. The bees are back. Not the bees. But they're taking on Leicester, and this time it's at home, West London.
I will go Brentford again.
Brentford
Leicester
shouldn't
is
have a
just a
problem.
mess.
Yeah, there you go. Anyone, and if you listen to anyone saying about Leicester or whatever, and there's 17 attempts at net, who gives a shit? Like, yeah, they were not good. They were outclassed, thoroughly beat by Chelsea, and they'll be thoroughly beat by Brighton. And unfortunately, Southampton has to play again this time at home to the goddamn Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah, it shouldn't be much of a fight either, especially Southampton having played only 3 days
Yeah.
before. We got Wolves and Leeds. It might be an interesting match.
That should be an interesting match. I'm gonna go with
Points
a
at a
draw.
premium. Ooh, nice. I like it. I'm going to take Wolverhampton at home because I've really liked what they've done lately. Uh, yeah, and can't trust Leeds at all. But those are two teams they're gonna scrap. That's gonna be a scrap. Those teams need points. Speaking of needing points, Chelsea at the Bridge against the Toffees and Everton. Sam Dyche.
I'm gonna go for Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Chelsea. We all follow the Chelsea over land and sea. And Leicester. We all follow the Chelsea on to victory. Last one. Arsenal taking on good old, if he's still there, Petra Vieira at home. Should be a close one.
It's Arsenal.
Oh.
It better not be a close one.
Yeah, Arsenal should win. No problem. I've got Arsenal as well.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys.
Much better
Thanks
week.
for joining
Much better
us this
week.
week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good week for both of us this week.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining us this week on Starting 11. If you are interested in helping out support the channel, you can do things like go to our merch store and get sweatshirts and things such as my Let's Get Ready Network hoodie I'm wearing, or we've got Starting 11 merch in the merch store as well. That's store.letsgetreadynetwork.com. We also have a Patreon, patreon.com/LGR_network. $1 a month gets you into our Discord. There's 3 higher tiers, one of which is the LGR family tier, where you can do things like watch movies with us and participate in our fantasy sports that we do. We've also got the executives tier, where you can dictate what goes on the channel. You can make Patreon requests, pick 2 members of the crew, and have us do a video about anything you want us to do. Ferris and Justin are doing one coming up on soap operas, which will be very fun.
They love it.
That's,
They love
it. So that's the Patreon, and come hang out with us in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. We hang out in voice chat a lot and watch sporting events while we're in voice chat a lot, so you can hear our reactions to things. Like the Arsenal games.
Swear words.
That does happen a lot, especially when Snark is watching the Winnipeg Jets.
That's right. I don't even realize
it's right. No. If you're watching this video and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 100 subscribers on the channel. We're at 97 last I checked, so thank you for that. And we've got the Blokes of Wrestling channel launching here at the end of the month, leading up to WrestleMania weekend. So links to that are also on the main page of this channel, so you can do that, or you can search for LGRN Blokes of Wrestling and subscribe over there if you like professional wrestling. We'd really appreciate it. And Snark, where can the good people find you?
You can find me right here, Starting 11. Also, Playoff Beards coming back with our buddy Dagan. I don't know if you'll be showing up once in a while, but I know that you are a big part of what makes Playoff Beards the Playoff Beards. Also, LGR After Snark is back. Just had a nice, a good time with our buddy Josh. Star was there, and we got some other guest next week. Can't remember who it is. Probably.
Yeah, I wonder who that could be.
Probably some criminal or something like that. If hopefully they'll let us talk to them from Indiana State Prison or wherever the heck it is. I don't know, wherever it is. But we got some pull. Like, we can do it. Also, yeah, like and subscribe. That $1 tier on the patrons, what gets you to LGR After Snark, guys. It's just some people hanging around. Maybe there's a couple of drinks. Maybe there's swear words. Maybe there's Brazilians. Who knows? Anyways, it's a lot of fun, and you're already paying the buck. Might as well watch the show. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We will talk to you next week.